Hey buds, yes, episode 3 took so long to come out, but we're here now, so we might as well just get right into it. Today I'm just going to show you guys how to write a detailed casino review. We're going to check out how to follow a brief, what you typically find in a brief, and how to go about getting the kind of information that will be useful to the readers. Okay, so today we're working with betmode.io. It's a crypto casino, and right here we've got our brief for this review. And this brief came with a data sheet. That's this link right here. And when you click on that, it opens up to this. So you're not always going to get a data sheet when you have to write a casino review. This is very unique to this particular client of mine. And yeah, but the way I'm going to do this review, you would understand how to find these information if they're not readily available to you. Okay, so the first thing we do is understand the brief. The brief tells you about the target audience, how to write for them, the target location, and whether or not you're going to add links, things like that. So for here, the first and most important instruction is do not use AI like ChatGPT and others. Of course, to the average person, it makes your work easier. But if you're an iGaming writer, you would understand it's really not useful to you. And the text is just not going to read like it's experience-based, no matter how you try to paint it. So yeah, that's one. Secondly, we're targeting English-speaking audience. No specific country, but just like the general English-speaking audience. Right, and only use official casino websites. Of course, that's the best way to write a review. You have to get the information directly from the site, not other affiliates. And we have to use a USA VPN. Now, a casino can be available to people from a number of regions, 10, 20 different countries. But if the review you are to write has things like bonuses and other kind of offers specific to people in your target market, then you need to make sure you're using a VPN for the specific location you're working with. All right, so we have to use a US VPN for this. And use our internal file, which is this one, the one I had opened, where we already have like a bunch of information. Next, we have to come down here and see what this client defines good content as and what they consider bad content. So, for example, use specific facts. So, where you have to say a casino has a plethora of gaming options, you will not say that. Instead, you put a specific number of games that the casino has. If you do not do that, you would end up creating content that doesn't really work for your client, and that's not what you want to do because you want to retain your clients, right? You do not want them in our work. Let's go down. Okay, so we have some information on formatting as well. And when we scroll further down, we have the content structure itself. Now, you see how long it took me to get to this structure. This brief is specific to this client, like I said. So your clients might give you a completely different brief that will not need you to read all those many stuff. So, well, I think this is a good example to start. So the very first thing is our H1, betmo.io Casino Review 2025. And we need to write between 20 to 30 words. And for this part, we need to create a disclaimer. Write a short first-person disclaimer stating that this review is based on the author's personal opinion after testing the casino, and this is how we handled it. I said, after playing at betmo.io for a 2-week period, here is my honest take on its features, games, usability, and the overall player experience. Now, what did I do here? I was very specific about the time I spent on the site, and I was also very specific about what I am discussing. So I'm giving my take on everything from how it works, usability-wise, to the games, features, and the overall player experience. And then we move back to the brief. And for the second heading, which is my experience and impressions about betmo.io Casino, the brief has told me to wait till I am done with everything else so that I can write a very detailed impression about the site. And that's exactly what I did. So I'm going to skip that right now and move on to the next heading so that you guys can follow through like we're writing together. Okay, so for the next heading, it's the pros and cons. And here, I need to write 2 sets of pros and cons according to the brief. It says write 4 to 5 pros and 2 to 3 cons. Each pro and con should be of medium, few words length. And they give an example. So if I click on this example, you're going to see a screenshot that shows pros and cons of 2 to 3 words, 2 to 4 words each, basically. And then that's the first set. Then also separately write a very brief 3 pros and 1 con for the table with the casino. And then we have an example of that. And when I had to write this is what I did. Yes, so we've got the first. Good. So we've got the first set of pros and cons. I want you to take a very good look at these to see how I varied them. Varied both set of pros and cons. So the first one, welcome offer worth $1,000. I did not say generous welcome offer. I was very specific. Supports crypto payments. This also is specific, even though I had not mentioned the kind of the specific cryptocurrencies. But this just tells you we do not do fiat here. It's just cryptocurrencies. 2,800 plus games strong library. I did not say vast game library. Instant withdrawals. Instant. Like right away. Then for cons, no reality check features, no in-house games. How did I find all of this? I had to come on the site right here. Then I scrolled from start to finish. Now for the offer I mentioned, for $1,000. I found that here in the sheet, which is what you can see right here. This is what the client has provided based on their conversation with the support team. Unfortunately, this information was not available on the website, but at least the client was able to get it for me, and I was able to provide it. So in a situation where there's no indication that there are other offers, you can see that on the site. Write what you can see, and then if your client says something is missing, tell them it's not on the site and tell them to give you a hint on what's missing. Then you can go back to the support team and ask them for help. That's what I did for the first set of pros and cons. For the second set, I talked about how they have daily cashbacks. You would find this in the promotions section. No rollover on welcome bonus. Now, how did I know this? I read through the terms and conditions of the welcome bonus. So for you to gather your pros and cons, you need to have spent a couple of minutes on the site. Just run through every single section and jot down anything you notice. For example, if you want to talk about no rollovers, like I did here, you can just come to this welcome offer, click on it. Once it opens up, you'll just scroll that down and see what bonuses, what requirements, are tied to the bonus. So here, for example, we have no annoying wagering requirements. That's how I knew there were no rollovers required. Now, you also need to understand the terms of this industry, because rollovers can be called playthrough or wagering requirements. So you need to know these words and be able to switch between them as you write. Fantastic. So again, for the second set of pros and cons, I just had to look through and understand what works and what doesn't work. And that's how I was able to come up with the pros and cons. Moving on to the introduction. This was a very sensitive part during my writing process, and I'll show you why. The introduction requires 90 to 100 words, first of all. And secondly, it says, it gives you like a number of things. The brief gives you a number of things to cover. So first, mention the target audience by specifying which country the casino is aimed at. If I were you, I would make a checklist in this situation. That's one. Secondly, based on the launch date, write whether or not it is a new casino or not. This is something else you add to your checklist. Number 3, write if the casino offers additional services beyond standard casino games, such as sports betting, scratch cards, horse racing, poker, bingo, etc. Now, you don't have to write each of this, but like whatever else you find, you just throw it in there. That's 3. And 4, briefly write about the owner. Is this the only casino operated by the company, or are there other like well-known brands under its management? List a few, if any. It will enhance the player's trust in this casino. Now, create a checklist if you're just starting out. For me, I can just look at this and I have that checklist in my head. I know what I need to research. So once you know the things that are required, go on the site, start doing your research. If you want to learn more about the owners, just Google their names, Google if they have other sites, look through the sites, confirm that they're actually owned by them. You would find the name of the owner usually at the footer of the site. So let's go back and find it. Yes, so as you can see, operated by on-chain technologies. So if you find sister sites, for example, other sites that when you Google, they say they are run by these guys, just go on those sites, scroll to the bottom and confirm that you would see the name of the owners there, just to be sure, right? So good. Once I gathered those data, I came here and wrote, betmo.io is a US-facing online casino, even though it welcomes players from everywhere else. Everywhere else except China and North Korea. I found this by reading through the terms and conditions on the casino site. Usually you would find this by scrolling down to the footer and clicking on About Us and Terms and Conditions. Yes, those two places would most likely give you like all the information you need. Good. But you have to read the fine print carefully just to find what you want. Next, I talked about when it was launched in 2024. So it is still fresh off the shelf, meaning it is new because we're in 2025. But its collection of slots and live dealer table games suffices for even veteran players. Now, this just makes that sentence flow very well instead of just giving you information without something to just, butter it up. So that's what I've done here. That said, there is no sportsbook or poker room here if those are more your style. So instead of just putting the information like no sportsbook, no poker room, make it read nicely. Make it read like you're talking to your friend, okay? Like, okay, fine. If this is what you want, they really do not have it, so you probably would have to check somewhere else. When I write, I imagine how I would speak to my friend. That helps me, especially when I'm doing like first-person POV kind of writing. Yeah, so the owners of betmo.io, On-Chain Technology Limited, also power renowned brands like Casinox. This is a zero. I don't know why they created the name like that, but yeah. And Rollchain Casino. Each of these sister sites is relatively new, but already has favorable reviews on forums from real users. How did I know? I Googled, found these sites, visited them, scrolled to the end, checked on Trustpilot to see what people were saying, and they were good things, actually, so it made sense to just put it like this. And that was how I did this section. Now, there was also the requirement for interesting facts. So what did I do? I looked through the site, and I found that there was a leaderboard somewhere. I just saw it on the site, and I'm like, oh, okay, what does the leaderboard do? Then I looked through it, and I came up with this interesting fact. BetMode has a leaderboard where you can see how much you've bet monthly and how much you've won. Depending on your rank, there are cash prizes to be won. Yes. So that's a fun fact. And usually when I write fun facts, I go for things that are already not required in the structure. So it's not like a repetition when you read through the entire piece. It's just something really fun that you can just pick and, have it at the back of your mind. Good stuff. So now we move on to the bonuses. What are the requirements here? Good. Bet mode casino bonuses, we are required to do 200 words. Now, this is a lot to unpack because first of all, they tell us to write 1 to 2 sentences of presentation of the main bonuses that are available in the casino. Do not list the type of bonuses and their sizes. This information will be in the table, which is what we are going to write here. Make the table with columns. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns that are required in the table. And then we have example of a completed table here. If you were to write this, you would have to click this to see what it looks like, but you're going to see it in the doc anyway. So if the casino offers several no deposit bonuses or several bonuses with free spins, choose the best one. So for example, if the casino has 50 promotions, which that's just the number I'm picking up from somewhere, and some of them are similar, this client is telling you, I don't want to see all of them. I just want to see the very best ones. So you pick those ones and put in the table. Are we together? All right. So if the casino doesn't have a large selection of bonuses, but there is, for example, cashback, you can add this type of bonus to the table. Now, after I've created that table, if the casino bonuses applies to specific games, write 1 to 2 sentences with an offer, for people to come and play them in the demo mode and all of that. So good stuff. We already have all the information we need. And remember, I have a data sheet where I already have all the bonuses. Look at the welcome offer here. If I scroll down, I will also notice other promotions. So let me just scroll down a little more. Good. So we've got welcome bonus and we've got all other bonuses right here. So what am I going to do now? I have to start from the very top, which is to write an intro before the table. Yeah. So we needed to do 1 to 2 sentences, but because I've worked with this client for a while, I understand that sometimes they can let it go. Like if you go 1 sentence over the requirement, especially when it's not fluff. So I've come here and I've said bonuses and promotions at betmode.io and mostly cashbacks and rakebacks, even for new players, because they do not have a standard deposit match welcome bonus, which is what we're used to in the gambling space. So I've written what they have. Although betmode.io does not offer the same variety of bonuses as traditional fiat casinos, the available deals are still generous. Here's what you can get as a crypto casino player at betmode.io. Good. I was told not to go very specific when it comes to the bonuses. So if, let's say, the bonus is $1,000 or let's say 1 Bitcoin, I have not mentioned any of that up here. That's how you follow instruction. Now, we needed 5 columns. We have them here. And I have listed all the bonuses I found. That's everything that was given to me in the sheet and everything in the promotion section here. For these ones, there are no minimum deposits, no wagering requirements, no bonus codes. That brings us to the part where you have to read through every single term and condition in a bonus. So for example, if you see a bonus offer, you click on it, you scroll down like I did earlier, read every single fine print. It would look long and boring, but you have to read through to fully even understand what you're talking about. Yeah. Next, after the table, we're supposed to do a verdict section. So let's go back. Let me show you. We're just going to scroll down. Final verdict on bonus offers. Now, this is a H3, and here we're supposed to put 3 pros, 1 to 2 cons, and then we provide our expert opinion. Why this place is very interesting is because they've told us that we should also compare. Let me see. We should compare to offers from other casinos on Slot Spot. Yeah, so we have gone to the Slot Spot site, which is this one. I had looked through casinos that they've worked with, and then I came here and give my pros and cons. Pros, daily and weekly cashbacks. Because when you look through the promotion sections, what do you find? Cashbacks, daily and weekly. Very good. No rollovers on bonuses. Remember when we checked the welcome offer, we saw no annoying playthrough or wagering requirements? Yeah, so that's a very good pro. No bonus codes required, meaning even if you do not have a bonus code, you can claim the offer, which is good. Now, for the cons, large minimum play amounts for cashbacks. Now, for the first cashback, you need to have played about $250,000, thereabout. $25,000, sorry. So that's a lot, right? So that's a standard con. I had to write my opinion, which is the final part. The promotion section at betmode.io will only appeal to you if you always need a quick bankroll boost after a losing streak. Why did I write it like this? Because they're mostly cashbacks, like I said. So if you have lost for some time and you don't want to dip back into your wallet, this kind of offer works best for you. There are no deposit matches, so yeah. As a first-time player, I had to rely on my deposit to keep things going since the new player deal required an initial $250,000 wager. Exactly, I said 25, so it's 250. I'm talking about how I struggled as a first-time player. That's the thing with writing from first-person perspective. It has to feel like you have experienced it, right? And people want to know, okay, if I'm in your shoes, what will I experience? What will it be like? That's why I have written this like this. Also, I'd have preferred to see a Wheel of Fortune or a no deposit bonus for birthdays, like what every game casino has for returning players. Now, these are 2 very interesting offers. There are many casinos aside every game even have. For example, a Wheel of Fortune, you just get on the site, you spin, and maybe you get free spins, or you get a deposit match, or you get any other kind of bonus just from spinning that wheel. Very good deal. No deposit bonus as on your birthday, or even just randomly as well. It's very good for when you want to test the site and you do not want to touch your money at all. So these are kind of offers I would have loved to see on the site. Guess what I did here? I already did a comparison with a casino from SlotSpot as required. Good. If you're not much of a bonus chaser, the available offers won't be a deal breaker. That's how I close this part of the review. So meaning, if you're someone who's just cool with making your deposits, playing games, you're not really out there for bonuses, then what they have right now is not going to stop you from really enjoying the site. All right, so next section is the payments, payment methods. To write about the payment methods, you need to have signed up with the casino, first of all. Right here, I did not log into my account to show you guys, but to write this review, I had to sign up. So I'm just quickly going to log in and show you guys a thing or two.